Good morning, welcome to FYI.
Yeah.
For your information, I'm Gerard Finance alongside Sharon Duncan. It is Thursday, the 12th of May.
It is Thursday.
We're here to
It is
give
Thursday.
you a little bit of the of what's happening in Guyana and around the world. Guys, believe it or not,
It's we.
we are almost through the week.
Yes, we are.
I'm not very sad about it. I'm excited about the weekend.
May is racing by.
I'm
May is
thankful.
racing by, and you know what? What is today? It's not a trip event, but
What do you mean?
today's the 12th, right? 12th. It's Thursday the 12th today.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Friday the 13th.
Oh wow, I didn't realize.
Believe it or not, you know what they say.
Wow, Friday the 13th.
Friday the
We work
13th.
tomorrow.
There's always something scary associated with Friday the 13th. Yes, we're going to be there. It's not holiday.
We're working tomorrow, guys.
Yes, believe it or not. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Yeah.
No, you want me
I used to be working
when I
as
was a child, when I was a child, and no person would say, keep your knives put away and this and that. Don't travel on Friday the 13th and all sorts.
Some
And then I
training.
grew, and then I got older and realized, Friday the 13th come and go without me knowing.
You better remind me, but, you know.
It would have been
They
gone.
don't know.
It would have been gone.
You gotta watch for the jumping board tomorrow. Folks, let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Vashti Magnan says you're looking great, as usual.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Becky knows how to bring it, you know. Don't try to stand she, because just like that, she could cause it.
I thank God for the little blessings of features because God knows that I don't put no effort into it.
Even that is just so. Just
I'm
so.
pretty thankful.
It's a gene. It's a Levi or the straw. Levi Strasser.
Hey, Vashti, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Kirk.
Morning, guys.
Kirk Phillips, good morning to you. Sasha Trim, Gavin Liverpool.
Yes.
Deborah Clark. Hey, Deborah, how are you this
Pull up a
morning?
chair with us. Pull up a cup of something. Whatever you guys are having. You choose with a coffee, tea, Milo tea, water, porridge, whatever. Because I realize too, breakfast is not a big thing for some people, and some people are not big on breakfast early, while some people are. And early is like 4:30, 5 o'clock, while some people wait till 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So people do breakfast differently.
I eat when I'm hungry.
Yeah. And then breakfast now is not, the conventional stuff that we know it as. Right? So
I
there's that too.
had some phases when you actually try to eat breakfast early and all of that. But you say, I know studies have shown if you are to miss a meal, then let that meal be dinner, and that don't put in breakfast as a missing. Always try to keep your breakfast and your lunch in check. But you can miss if you're missing a meal, let it be dinner.
Wow. Gavin Liverpool says he's hearing us loud and clear. Thanks, Gavin. Thanks for that.
Tessa's here, Tessa Isaac, we're
Yeah.
saying blessings and brothers and sisters from Orlando. So Tessa's out there making sure that she always joins us in the morning.
Correct. We're grateful for that. We're grateful. We're grateful for the love and support,
Yeah.
Real family. And Magnell Barrow's there as well, John Jones. John was on last night, and I was happy to see the comments, Vanessa Farmers and Evangelist Augustus and John Evangelist and so on joining these days. There's another religious person, evangelist something too.
No, missionary.
Missionary, is the evangelist missionary?
Missionary Joy Fritz.
You see that? Family.
This is something very interesting.
Yes.
I usually don't remember them very easily, So it's very interesting how I remember those names.
Yeah, and Sancho Willis here as
I
well.
see Marlon King here, Marlon.
Rachel Rigo.
Marlon says it's rainy weather in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
At the rain, rain.
It's raining since last evening.
Yeah.
We leaving the studio. Came in this morning. It's raining still, but it is what it is. You gotta keep going,
Candy says good morning.
Candy Chan? Oh, Candy Nalini. Yeah, a lot of Candy's always watching.
A very good morning to you both. I see Sherry Baskin Grenades is joining us from
Barbados. These are right. Candy from
Sandra
Scotland.
joining from Linden.
Yeah. The Democratic Republic. Democratic Republic of Linden.
I see Stanislaus Washington is here from Sutherland, England.
Yeah, Stanislaus, how are you doing? Good to have you. That was about 1 o'clock.
I have no clue.
What's the time there, Stanislaus? Let us know. What's it? I know they're a couple of hours ahead.
So, Alia is not going to do this to us this morning, but Alia says the trending topic, Sharon Dog.
Oh, so Alia, tell me, Rock will come in, Alia. Why am I trending? Tell me, you know. We can't be all places all the time. So
I
tell
know why
us.
you're trending, but I'm not gonna get into it.
You know.
Share this trend because he has a distinct gift when it comes to social media and captivating an audience.
So why am I trending this morning?
I think if I'm to give the correct terminology to why you're trending, I think that would be clickbait.
Clickbait. Oh, good. You know,
Yeah.
you know the beautiful thing.
You have studied this. You studied this at university
I
level.
went to university.
You actually
did
studied
communication
communication at university
Yes,
level.
and then I did law after that. You know, it's what it is. Part of they say, but when you hold a mic, you must have something to say, right?
I have a problem with Marl Joseph there.
Moral, what Moral is saying? Huh? Moral said, "Watch your video, Red Women." We're talking about Red Women in the program. I said, I think one of them has filled it into the morning brew. And we're talking about it. Red Women influence these days. Lorraine Garnett, joining us on the west side. Red Women dangerous these days. Anchor down. Got patting down right on this star with Red Women. Right on the star. Mark Ferrer is here as well.
I'm hearing that some persons I'm getting some feedback that the song's echoing a bit.
The song is echoing.
So whatever you did the last time, please do it again.
All right, we're gonna try that differently. We're gonna try it differently.
All right. So
we're gonna try to fix that.
I saw one of the comments in the comment section is actually say that we're here, but it's not the usual great song.
All right, we're gonna fix that.
We'll be outside to as we go along, guys.
Yes, we can fix that.
Have that here.
We can fix that.
Always. So I shared work on that. Maybe I can see your business. I see the comments about red women. You know, I'm not a red woman per se, but you know, I rep women nevertheless. So don't have an issue with red women.
Yeah.
You know, y'all have issue with red women, blonde women.
We do.
All sorts of issues y'all pull up. You know.
We do. We're gonna try to fix that.
Please, I think women have been going out and about trying their best to make sure that they can please certain aspects of society to put over nicely, but it hasn't been happening, Mrs. Dunn. We don't see this attack on a specific set of women to be called for. It's not justified. What's up? What's wrong with the red women, Sharon? I'm not about this life.
You aren't?
Guys, let us know where you're joining from. You know the drill. Make sure that you share the live stream. I see Johnson here from Ithaca. Hey Johnson, how are you?
Let us know if you're getting the audio better.
I think we've tweeted the audio.
Let us know if you guys are hearing it better.
Give us a feedback immediately.
Let us
please,
know if you're hearing it better.
Let us know if you're getting it better.
Make sure
let us know if the echoing that some persons were referring to has been successful.
Want to make sure the audio is great for you guys. We want to make sure that's good for you guys.
And in the meantime, yes, thank you so much for the feedback. I see the feedback says it's fixed. Great. Awesome work from our technical expertise here in studio this morning.
I love this sunshine. I love this sunshine that's up there coming through those trees. I wish I was like right there.
Well, a lot of persons say they go out in the morning, take morning walks, Miss Duncan. So a lot of persons say they take morning walks, as I'm saying. So you persons go out a lot in the parks, and so in the US, you get a chance to go and walk in the parks, and so enjoy the greenery, the sunlight just piercing through the leaves of the trees, just in that perfect little moment and that setting. So it's always an awesome view altogether. Nature is always, for me, I love nature altogether. We've seen persons from Ithaca. I see the loud and clear. Yes, thank you so much for the feedback. Isabella Butters watching from Long Island this morning.
There is no other program like this. You know, we interact with our audience, you know,
we
like
have
that.
to.
We get feedback. And feedback is important, you know.
Yes.
To hear from you guys hear from us. That's important.
Yes.
As you're on Long Island, who's joining us from Long Island?
Isabella Butters.
Isabella. Mm-hmm. You know who else lives in Long Island?
Warren Figueroa.
And Warren is a newborn father as of last evening.
He has a new grandson. Yes.
Yeah.
So Warren, congratulations.
Yeah, second time around, I think it is.
I don't think it's second. I think it's probably more.
It's probably more. Warren Figueroa, one of our viewers, ardent viewers, just like you guys. We saw on social media.
Yeah.
He was holding up that beautiful Beautiful
little
baby.
baby boy.
Congrats to Warren and the family. I think his daughter,
Correct.
Ashanti, give. Oh, I thought it was-
Sharon knows the
his
entire
daughter
family and
Ashanti
the business.
give birth yesterday. It's a lovely
You know,
baby.
I saw the photo and this little baby boy, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm getting baby
Yeah.
fever.
Yeah,
Like,
And
this
guys, you
little
know, if
son,
something,
oh,
if something
looks
is happening at
amazing.
your end, you're having a milestone, a birthday, something special is happening, you want us to give a shout out to somebody you know, to give a shout out. We don't, we will do that for you guys.
So
Give a shout out.
congratulations
Yeah.
to Warren
Congrats,
on
congrats.
the birth of your new grandson. Congratulations to your daughter Ashanti and her husband. And may there be tons of blessings upon your family.
Newest viewer to
healthy
FYI,
and ever.
that little
Yes.
baby.
A little FYI.
Yeah. Good to see Rohan. Is it Basantram? Rohan says good morning, Jurida, and should be watching from the West Coast. Yeah, watching from the West Coast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
West Coast
yeah,
of Barbie. So lovely to have you here this morning. Make sure that you encourage more persons there to join the program. And
Please and thank you.
We do a lot of coverage
Please
what
and
is
thank you.
going on in Barbie. So
Yeah.
we have to.
Barbie is lovely, both sides of the river. Lovely, different but lovely.
Different but lovely.
Different but lovely.
However, Shart said that's the way.
And I think you got to be there for a little while to understand and to see how culturally different Barbie says the pace, the life, the way of the people. Quite different.
So Clifton is asking what's for breakfast.
What's for breakfast? Well, I'm having some tea, some tea bag tea, right? And I don't know what's going to come after that. It varies.
It varies.
We don't do breakfast traditionally.
We don't do the scrambled eggs and whole 9 yards.
Sometimes, because yesterday morning we had bacon eggs.
Yes, true.
Right. Some mornings it's curry roti. Rita loves curry roti in the morning for some reason.
I don't have a specific what.
We had egg ball yesterday morning too.
Actually, that's what I had.
Yes,
that's what I had.
Yeah.
I had an egg ball yesterday.
Not a traditional.
As crazy as it sounds, that's what it was.
But I think you're getting all your main ingredients. You're getting your starch. What are you going to get from eggs? Some proteins.
Yes.
So you're getting
some proteins. Eggs are high in protein.
You're getting some protein there too from the eggs, some starch from the whether it's potato or cassava, and then you're getting a little TT, and so forth. What are you guys having for breakfast? Let us know that, and you got it. Share.
Beatrice different. Beatrice, she just had beer ginger tea.
Oh.
Beatrice different. Persons like I know ginger is recommended for a lot of things, but I can't do ginger too often. Like I don't know, I just can't do ginger too often. I will go with green tea. I'll go with cinnamon tea and all of those tea. Like I love cinnamon altogether. I love the smell of cinnamon. So I like have cinnamon candles, do cinnamon tea, cinnamon soap. I think about it. I do it with. I use cinnamon in everything almost.
I don't know how Parashram Kishore is having breakfast this morning.
He's here?
Yes, but you know what is surprising? Like, why would you tune into a program if you got to abuse down people and to carry on?
I missed his comment.
Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's a specific reason. Maybe he's being paid to come on, and to behave like that. Because, like, why? If you're not in tune with a particular program,
I think Parashram actually does communications to some level too,
Yeah.
He has these clickbait comments to store up that emotion in some people.
But we aren't going to have that. Treat what's happening at your end this morning.
Well, there's a lot happening at my end, but I want to start with what's going on in morning papers if I can.
Good place to start.
If I can. And I see a petition. Out there, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
A petition to support Trevor Ben is also persons to sign, and everyone knows that we've been talking about what is happening with the credit union, and the petition actually reads come out in front of the credit union building on Hatfield Street and sign a petition to support Trevor Ben being reinstated, and everyone that knows the issue knows that there was a press conference in which persons basically could not identify any specific reason and justifiable reason why they would want to move a no confidence motion against Trevor Ben, and that is the general consensus line
just
of
felt like it. And again, this is the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, and Trevor Ben is the chairman there.
Has been doing a lot of work.
Yesterday begun the first phase of the signing of that petition, Twitter. I was out there at the credit union, and those folks
Did you get to
were
sign?
so energized.
Did you get to sign?
Yeah.
I didn't get to
they
sign.
Were so energized. And that's why I mentioned it, because Saturday they're going to be back out there again.
Okay, so I'll sign on Saturday.
Yeah, there's a board meeting that's happening on Saturday at 10 o'clock, and persons are going to be gathered out there again. And more signatures for the petition. So, you guys, if you haven't had a chance to sign as yet because you were detained by work or you're on business or some other thing may have had your attention yesterday, they're going to be back out there. This is 45 Hatfield Street, just on the facade of the credit union. They're going to be there, and you guys can come down and sign the petition. If you're a member of the union and you feel strongly about this matter, the way we do. Yeah. So that's one of the things making the morning papers right there.
Well, as we move forward, I see this one's a little.
Tell us.
Guyana Chronicle staff petitioned the president for the removal of editor-in-chief Mahabir.
I can sit Matino.
Mahabir says staff never raised concerns. And guys, listen, this is a bit. How do we report on this?
I'm not going to say much.
Sharon says he's not going to say much.
I had to go last night, so I'm going to pass.
Sharon says he's not going to say much about it, but what I can tell you is that I served in the capacity of the chairman of the Guyana National Newspaper Limited, Inc., which is Guyana Chronicle. So I am very familiar with these persons and who they are. So the most interesting, is like precedence. It's a beautiful thing when persons try to go down a certain line. And what I'm seeing playing out here, it brings back a lot of memory of what transpired prior. And what I can say is that the allegations being levied against him is that he's not supportive, he's basically not fit for the job according to all the wording of that paper that I read. And I actually have a copy of the letter that that was signed by the staff there, and they are up in arms against what is going on. So, it is most interesting to note that this particular individual went back on in after the current administration took back office, because of all the allegations of not being treated how he wants to be treated and all of that. So that's a matter by itself.
I'll only add, Rita, and second thoughts. You said it's very interesting that the current editor-in-chief, who the staff has an issue with, I think over 23 staff, signed this petitioning Air Finale to remove the editor-in-chief. The editor-in-chief, Tetra Mohabir, had resigned under the previous administration, stating, he had his own reasons why he would have left the employment of the company. And he came back, incidentally, under this new administration. What we saw at Chronicle is the literally moving out, firing and shifting around of a lot of the staff that they felt were aligned to the new AFC administration. As a matter of fact, the chief reporter, Tedra Mahabi, would have assigned to the library.
Well, that's what I was commenting. I'm glad you went
to the
there.
Library, would have assigned her to the library. That staff subsequently left the employment. And so what should be at Chronicle currently are people who they perceive to be favorable to the administration.
Correct.
So to see 23 persons, move against the editor-in-chief like this.
No, but I read
it's
some of the complaints that were coming in, and I just want to touch on it a little bit because I like to give Jack his jacket on a lot of basis. And a lot of the complaints that they're making, and one specifically, hit home like so a lot of times people go after something that they're not ready for, and that's what I think is happening here. The magnitude of the work that is actually put into the publications of the newspaper, a lot of hardworking staff goes unnoticed. People that are absolutely essential workers for the production of that newspaper on a daily basis. And one of the complaints that was made is that he actually wasn't signing off on the last page, and the whole printing process had to be halted until he gets home or something of the sort to send back a sign off on it and all of that. And then the staff have to be there, drivers and everybody there late, just waiting on him to approve this thing so that he can print it. And it just made me remember some of those staff there in the print room at the back there. They are some amazing people that work.
That's some good folks
within the organization.
Some good folks.
No, I'm talking about technical staff. They have some amazing technical staff, and a lot of those persons, I have a lot of respect for them after having worked with them over some point in time. So yes, that the reporting and all those things, that is an aspect all by itself. But the people that actually put this document together, there are some amazing people that works there.
Yeah, they have some folks who felt that we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll just say, look around.
Another comment.
Look around.
One comment that I saw online concerning this is one of the reporters that left, posted on their Facebook page. Well, watch God.
Watch God.
We
didn't know what we were doing.
After you tried to push for persons to, after he marginalized and discriminated
Waldron
against
was
persons.
talking to us about who trending and so on. We didn't know communications.
Yeah, we didn't know communications.
Drink
right?
potato.
Yeah, with most, Sherry doesn't have to talk about these. I can speak about a lot of the aspects and for the time that you were there. The fact that you saw from day one the need for the diversification and for the GNNL to actually go have that bit of the social media marketing, and that was something that you started working from day one. And it only lasted as long as you were there, So I think that is something that they would have been very happy to have right now had they just allowed that process to continue. But
so much for that. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck with that. What else we got in more information? What else is making the rounds?
Yeah, as we continue this morning, see Mazaruni prison escapee captured with knife in neck. Now I have I don't understand how I should take this because I saw the photograph and the reported and all of that, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at the photo with this person with a knife in his neck, and I'm thinking that why is this person on a hospital bed? I just don't understand.
It's a red woman. A red woman. No, but actually, that is how they captured him.
Yeah, I know.
He went seeking medical attention somewhere in the interior.
But I'm not sure who took the photo.
I think the authorities were summoned because he was wanted, of course, escaping last year.
Correct.
And that's how they got a huge knife in his neck. And, we had it on the program last evening. Huge knife, a Rambo knife.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But, you do the crime, you have to do the time.
Yeah, interesting.
And just intend to just walk out and go live a life as though you never did anything wrong. And I see another thing trending in the morning papers this morning. I see Region 10 leaders demand governments to put squatters or relocation promise in writing. And guys, a lot of times a lot of things are said and people don't follow through with actually documenting and put the stamp, seal, and delivery on those matters. And that's what's being said here. So we know what was happening in Region 10. We know that we had persons' home being bulldozed to the ground, even as talks were going on about the regularization of the area. And we know that there was an announcement that was made big in the newspapers that those persons will be given housing units. Mm-hmm. And so the leadership of Region 10 is actually saying, just don't go say that to the public. That doesn't mean anything unless it's inked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole call there, to make sure that that's inked. And I support that call 100% because we know who we're dealing with.
You don't write it down. You don't hold them accountable in writing. They come back and they come and tell you something vastly different tomorrow. And so I think they have the right to say, no, let's put it in writing. If you feel strongly about it, if it's a commitment we have, let's put it in writing.
But it goes to show that the lack of trust in the persons making the promise, because this and that says a lot. I would say that it says a lot that persons don't trust the basic words of persons. They don't trust persons to say that, oh, well, we're making a pledge for this, that you're going to follow through with that pledge. So just put it in writing so persons are comfortable. And when you start delivering on promises, then the persons are going to be more comfortable with your word moving forward. But I can also add at this point in time that the promise of 800 part-time job is in 2 weeks is yet to be delivered.
Well, we can be talking about that later on as well. In our subsequent programs, we were more specific. Mm-hmm. We're talking about that because we have to track those things. They say what gets measured gets done, and we have a way of measuring things in our program. These promises that are made and the reality that updates. What else we got? What else we dealing with?
Well, another thing I want to take note of is the CDC received support to assist the storm affected Bath settlement residents. And persons would remember that there was what was termed a freak storm in Bath settlement there that damaged a lot of persons' property. And I know Digicel have given over a check of $500,000 towards the aid of that. I think I could give a little kudos. Digicel has been coming out and doing things here and there. So we like to acknowledge when those things are done.
Digicel.
Yeah.
Good going there. Good going to see companies, fulfilling their corporate responsibility.
Yeah, but
it's good.
Specifically, a woman was beaten and kicked by a co-worker after she refused to be in a relationship with him, and I want to have a discussion on this.
We've been having one for the longest while in the way. Women are treated gender-based violence, domestic violence, and the whole gamut of it. And we've said repeatedly that it needs to be national attention on these issues, and it needs to be led from the front. And we've said here as well that part of the challenge with leading from the front here, lots of people are involved themselves in this. And, sometimes we see it being posted on social media, this post of some high official in government, coming out and saying X and Y. Don't believe everything.
Yep.
And, people dress up in jacket and tie and, this one, look, we doing here. And then he come home and give people COVID. We see that. So sometimes that's the challenge of leading from the front, but it has to be done. It has to be. You can't lead on an issue like this that is at pandemic stages, really and truly. And we went through one of our programs, distinguishing epidemic from pandemic. This is pandemic. It's nationwide. The epidemic is community and village and so on, could be contained there. But this here, any village, you see the most horrific treatment of women and girls and even boys. Last season, we showed one in our program of a young man, how he's being choked. He's saying, I can't breathe. And people confuse that kind of action with discipline. That's abuse. And we got to confront it.
Yeah.
We got to confront it.
Discipline. That's a whole story.
We got to confront it.
But this particular matter here, I just want to give a little bit of the details as it is, because it said that the young woman is Charlotte, 30 years old, a cashier at Tasha Atlantic Petroleum gas station, which is located in Eccles, and she was physically assaulted by her male colleague after she refused to be in a relationship with him, according to the report coming out there. I said during an interview with the publication, she disclosed that on the night, Sace Narayan, which is a co-worker, dragged, and I'm quoting her here, dragged me out of my cashier register and beat me all because he wanted a relationship with me and I didn't allow it.
I can see how that can be persuasive.
Yeah.
I can see how she'd be running into the arms of somebody like that. You see, she's spotty coming from far.
Yeah.
Right? She's spotty coming from far. And I can see how we could, is that how you do it now? Right? Is that the wooing method? Right? And the law got to deal with that soundly. Set some examples, please. Set some examples. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more that goes around with these stories, but I want to just make the point that this is somebody at work.
Yeah.
This is a woman at work.
Yeah.
Being at work, you're just going there to make an honest living for yourself, to make your money so that you don't have to be reliant on someone else to take care of you.
Yeah.
Going and doing what she has to do.
And
instead of being protected on the job side. I mean, a lot of work have to be put into all of that, because where is it that, and this is a question I'm putting out there. I'm not making any allegations or anything like that, but is there any policy within that the work environment when it comes to sexual harassment and how we deal with that? At what point in time did she ever, make a complaint saying that this person sexually harassing me and I don't like it, for that matter to be arrested from the very beginning, so it doesn't get to that stage of abuse? So these are things we need to talk about, because a lot of times young women goes out there into the working world and they don't understand that there are lots of things that a lot of laws, overarching laws that are there to protect them, but if they're not familiar and made aware of it, they don't know it is even a tool for them to utilize in defending themselves against these abusers.
Did I hear you say he's a co-worker?
Yeah,
I think that's another challenge.
That's
too.
a work. That's a workplace issue. That's why I'm talking about sexual abuse within the workplace. What is the policy when it comes to?
But besides sexual abuse, the mere fact when you're choosing to have a relationship with a co-worker, I think you got to think that through long and hard, because if it goes south, then you on a 9 to 5 with that person, whatever is the time you're already working, you on the job site with that person, and then to have the maturity now, if you're in a relationship. Right, to say when we at work, and our private life is private life. Don't come on a job and tell me, see thing you do this morning, I like it, and try to have a conversation, on the people's time, based on your personal life. So it's all those dynamics you are you are playing with, and then the fact that you couldn't have maybe security or so on, intercepting and nipping that situation in the bud very early before it escalated into a beating, because to be dragged out and to, get a sound thrashing on your workplace, there should have been some intervention there right away, right? So it's a lot of dynamics when you're thinking about going and having a relationship with somebody on the job. And, lots of people go and socialize for all kinds of reasons, but they work on the socialization, making friends and relationships and so on of that nature are incidental. There's not why you're going there, right? You're going there to exchange your labor for money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what you go for. And so, but you got all these dynamics playing out that we really got to think through.
There are probably a few persons that actually tried those things and actually it actually worked. But I personally have never ever have had any situation. I've worked a few places as well. I've never ever chosen a pathway to have a relationship with somebody that I'm working with. I don't want that trouble.
She saw some stuff in him.
Yeah,
and
the red
she
flags.
said, you know what? I'm not going there. And you know what? I am betting that if you are beating a woman in public, that's not the first incident with him and the woman.
Being physical.
Right?
Well, that's a whole thing by itself, because at some point in time, I'm of a strong belief that as a society, we should go in the direction of of labeling these people.
If you could lose your presence of mind to think that you could beat a woman on her job, that's not your first action like that. And that the law has to step in, because he has no control over himself. So the law will now have to impose control, and the law should speak very clearly, because this situation is getting out of hand. I don't think COVID has killed more people in this country than domestic violence and accidents on our roadways. I don't think so. COVID ain't got nothing on that.
The pandemic of domestic violence, we feel it at every level. Every single sector in society is affected when someone is going through abuse. Every sector in society is affected. Your children going to school, education sector. You have the medical aspect of it. Persons got to go there. When you deal with the law aspect of it, persons have to go there to the police station and get treatment. Persons have to go to work. Wherever they're going to work, they can't function at their optimal capacity because they are completely stressed, because they're in an abusive situation. The entire country is stifled when people are in domestic violence situations. And once we realize that, and we can allocate a cost, that how much is it costing the country altogether, because persons are in violent situations and domestic violence, to gender-based violence, to be very specific. When we allocate a cost to that, that's when people start moving, because it seems like the only time people are actually interested is when they see that this figure, oh my God, this is how much it's costing us, because we haven't accosted this situation as yet.
Look at the carnage in our roadways. And I saw one of the lobbying bodies, the what do you call it, the Road Safety Council, got $10 million. Now, when you got to arrest a problem like the craziness happening on our roads, just yesterday, I think I saw 2 or 3 accidents being reported. I think a man lost his life around by the Botanical Gardens at the back, Mandela Avenue and Botanical Gardens there. The sheer carnage on our roadways. You think $10 million could do? The public relations campaign you got to wage, right, to kind of curb this problem, right? And then the courts got to do its part as well, right? But nonetheless, we got a lot of other things brewing, guys. A lot of other things brewing, bringing it in from internationally.
Yes, as we run an international front, one of the things that captured my attention was this story. I think I was picking it up from, if I'm not mistaken, CBS News, that says a passenger with absolutely no flying experience landed the plane at Florida airport after the pilot had gone incoherent. Wow. Absolutely no flying experience ever. Wow. A passenger managed to land a plane. This is ABC 7. That's where I'm picking this up from, guys. Most amazing. I know what, one of the things is that when he was they're talking to him and telling him what to do. He's never done this before, but it was quite amazing the level of calm that he had to handle that situation. He was extremely
I would have been
calm.
singing "Nearer, My God, to Thee."
Draw
me nearer.
I don't think I would be calm in that situation, but I think it was a small plane, and and so not many passengers on board. But it was quite amazing to see that what we are capable of as individuals once we remain calm and collective. You know, I think that was my takeaway.
Stay
from
calm.
that.
We're gonna get through this.
That was my takeaway from that. So I
dear my God.
definitely.
Dear my God.
The pilot goes in coherent, I probably jump out.
Dear my God today.
Plane altogether.
What else happening?
Well, I want to just add this in for a quick second, Sharon, because yesterday we were speaking about the fact that that I think pharmacies were pulling off off the shelves a specific milk, a baby milk, because of the basic shortage, the growth shortage that's going on there. You know, interesting enough, as it continues, you know, NBC News is now reporting that James Cromwell, this actor from Babe and Succession, this actor actually glued himself to a New York City Starbucks counter in protest.
Activism, serious?
In protest of this action. And I'm
serious activism here, boy. Serious.
I don't understand when did we get here, right? And he says there's no reason for its except greed. He's saying that the associated hike in the cost of this specific milk product, he said it is unjustifiable. Basically, yesterday, guys, you remember I said once there's scarcity, the cost is going to be pushed up. That's just the economics of it and how it works all together, unless there's a policy intervention that puts a price ceiling on those. Nevertheless, this man believed it was grossly.
Yeah. That's the level of that. He grew himself.
And he
grew himself.
He glued himself to the counter in protest of that. So when you think you got it bad, for persons, you know, probably I think people still wondering how is this going to bother them. You can see. So don't worry. I think Warren is going to be most interested in this.
Oh yeah. Warren hands full.
At this point,
Shanty husband hands full there in Long Island.
But I am personally interested in this bit of international news that I want to bring. You know, I'm personally interested.
Tell us why.
TikTok stars probably earning.
Glenn Lau can be interested in this too.
More.
Mr. TikTok.
Basically earning more than us. You know, guys, listen. You know, the advent and the of social media altogether is something that we need to understand.
Correct is right.
And I want to say that we cannot just ignore the fact that there are persons here, and I'm literally going to call out the highest earning TikTok persons.
Right. And this is in US, right? This is not Guyana money. This is
US dollars, right?
Yeah.
So there's one Charlie D'Amelio. She has 133.2 million followers, and her estimated worth is $17.5 million US dollars. Age 17.
Wow.
Okay.
Is she a film star?
No, but this is
TikTok
a whole
star.
But exactly, right? TikTok platforms, and I want to talk about it because there's a lot going on about who has a right to be where and how, and that conversation. I think it should be all wrapped up with all of these facts and detail. Social media platform, it has opened up the marketplace. So you don't have to be, a lot of times,
a politician, a
parliamentarian. Exactly. A lot of times persons would go, and I just want to give this for an example. Persons think they have to migrate because they're looking to earn more and all of that. The advent of social media and the platforms and the diversification of it all together has made it so easy for persons, regardless of where you are living, to actually tap into resources and more importantly, tap into a market that is beyond your imagination.
Yeah. You know, I saw this a Guyanese girl. What's her name? Swagger something.
Swagger girl. That's her TikTok name.
She has over 1 million followers. 1.2. It means you clear Guyanese population because we don't 750. And she's gone on now to add that.
Yeah.
1.2
million. But what they do is most important. I just want to say this, guys, because what they do is most important, because what they do is just the majority of them. It's about dance, you know. You have a little dance move.
Now you tell me, I gotta do something.
A little fashion move.
Both Rich and I run TikTok. I got about that.
I don't use my
billion,
TikTok page at all. I don't use my go-to social media page. I have a page actually to get content. To get content. Yeah, that's my sole reason for having it. I think I posted something once or twice.
You got to up our game with some dancing.
I have to up my game with social media platforms altogether. But with all of that money, I might as well.
17 million. That's a good small change.
But the second highest earner is her sister. Believe it or not, Dixie D'Amelio, who has 56.7 million followers and is estimated to worth $10 million.
So between the two of them, that's 27 million, 17 and 10, right?
And
US dollars.
These are young people that go, because I've been to their page after reading this. Obviously, I'm going to go to their page. I went to their page and checked to see what they do, and they do some basic things that I would think that may not interest a lot of persons.
But that's the thing
but
about
it is interesting.
When the star does it,
yes,
it becomes interesting.
No, but they weren't stars, and I think that's most important.
But now they are, and it's a hard mentality.
Yes,
everything they do is interesting.
But I think Sherry should talk about it a little bit more, because Sherry just mentioned it. It's herd mentality. That's what it is, and persons just go to see what everyone else is interested in.
What's so interesting?
What is so interesting? Let's go. Let's go take a look.
Let me go and take a peek.
No, so I say that to say, a lot of persons are there. They feel like they're boxed into an area and they can't move and they can't, and persons are not able to see who they are and their talents altogether. And the utilization of these social media platforms, I personally encourage it, because, like I said, there's a market out there when it comes to making money. There's a market out there, and when you go and you set up a shop wherever you're living, and you're waiting for persons to pass by to stop in, and the probability of them stopping is not as high as you want it to be, and all of that.
Yeah.
When you are on social media and you're utilizing that platform as your market space, your virtual market space, the reach that you have is phenomenal.
And just look at it. We got about, at the back end, we're seeing about 600 persons watching us right now. And of course, we invite you guys to share and to smash that emoji button. But believe it or not, you got newspaper companies selling 600 newspapers today. Right? Newspaper companies selling 600 newspapers today.
But not only that, I think no, they're not.
In the evenings, we got about at least 4,000 persons watching us. Last night, I think we had about 5,000 just over that watching our program live. Companies, 5,000 newspapers selling is like, right. And that is to tell where newspaper companies are, because back in the day, the Graphic, when it was in this heyday, which became the Chronicle, was selling 100,000 newspapers a day. But now you're selling 600 papers
because
much more 4,000.
You have to be
technology and social media,
and you have to be able to diversify and to recapture that of the base that you've lost. But we're not going to give you any advice on that right
now. That
now.
being said, folks, the time is slipping away from us. We're coming regional now, and we hope that you guys are ready. We've been talking about this, Andrew Fahey, and he's the premier of the British Virgin Islands, who was who is wrapped up in this cocaine and drugs and guns and smuggling and all of that. And he was placed in $500,000 bail. That is now being challenged. And so his lawyers have filed a motion to dismiss the appeal against his bail. So that is where we are in that process. But again, the US got a long investigation which concerns this. They've been watching him for a very long time. And we've articulated some of this in our podcast. We had about a 12-minute, information segment on this, and just how the U.S. went about pursuing this matter. Very, very comprehensive when you read the court documents pertaining to this matter. So they're trashing it out now on the bail issue, because he has been granted bail, and they're appealing that, and his lawyers are fighting that as well. That's what's happening on that front.
Yeah, and as we continue on the regional front, I see Guyanese appointed to the appeal court. Appointed appeal court judge in Belize.
There's that happening too.
Yes. Guyanese, and you see Dr. Christopher Vulcan appointed appeal court judge in Belize. And guys, you don't know, Dr. Christopher also acted as the justice of appeal in Guyana Court of Appeal, and now was sworn in on Monday as a judge on the Court of Appeal in Belize, you know, and we're absolutely proud of all the work that Guyanese do, especially when they leave our shores. You know, you make us proud when you do good things.
Respect and manners.
So we ask that you do positive things and don't
respect and
don't bring the name of the country into disrepute.
Respect and manners. I know Dr. Balkan is also a specialist in human rights. That's one of the areas where he excels.
Yes.
And that is much needed here. We really need a lot of guidance with that.
We need him out now more than ever.
A lot of guidance. So there's that. What else we got, Julia?
Okay, so well, I don't know how you're gonna take this. I'm not sure if we covered it last time, but that woman was nabbed and remanded to prison after escaping custody through the hospital toilet. The woman nabbed.
Interesting. This is Princess William.
Correct.
This is Princess Williams, and we talked about this last. You see these red women? This is your season.
I don't support
this. This is your season. Bradford Stacy. So we as we articulated last night on our affiliate program, she was in this relationship with a fella, and he wanted out of it, and then she was threatening him to say that he raped her and so on if she didn't get $10 million. The court just found her guilty on that front. Just found her guilty, and she was awaiting sentencing. She was at the Independence Police Station. They said that she feigned some kind of illness. No, you women do it. Feign your hair.
What do you mean that I don't understand.
Right?
What
feign sickness. She's at a Georgian hospital. She wants to use the washroom, and then she climbed through the window. This is for the movies, folks. She could be a Bond girl. This is for the movies. Climbed through the window. They found her leisurely walking on Thomas Street.
So she was walking.
Yeah. This is Star here. Star is born. Have you been to this country? Yes, Star is born. The greatest country in North Maryland, King. Basil and
all the glitters in gold. That's all that's coming to mind. Guys, listen, women out there, you know where I'm coming from with this, right? Lots sometimes, right?
And every woman that glitters is
a lot of times men go out there and they get all captivated by the appearance, by the appearance of a young woman, and they go in blindly, and and there's this little conscience that they have, keep ticking and keep putting up the red flags left, right, and center. They're like knocking it down.
No,
I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
No, 2 decades late.
Knock through the red flags, and their main focus is on she looks good, we look good together, we're gonna go out, our persons are going to be envious of me and this person because of the way which they look. And then they
10 years ago,
they fail to realize that at the end of the going out and looking good, that they have to go home and build a life with somebody, and that's when personality, character, and all of those things comes into play. And lots of men out there, guys, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of them, then they're like pulling their hair out. They can't deal with it, all the stressors that comes with that, because they went in for the wrong things. Relationships are not about the physical appearance. Everybody wants to be someone that looks good, but when you get into the actual,
I needed that 10 years ago,
nitty gritty of our relationship.
Talk about information you can't use. 10 years ago, I needed that.
It's not about
10 years ago, Seaboard George. Where was Sharita? Where were you when I was in the struggle? Where were you?
You were a victim of this.
Before I say not. Before I say not.
Sharon was a victim. Sharon is telling us in not so many words.
Confirm nor deny.
He was a victim.
The veracity. Roger Bayo, 10 years ago. But Jurita, in saying that she's a red woman with a difference. I hope you all know that. We gotta get John Doe side of it.
First of all, I'm not directly.
You gotta get John Doe side of it. This guy's been silent for far too long. This time he speaks up.
No.
Jump in anytime, John Doe.
Let me jump in. Naomi Joker said, Joretta, are you saying that pretty girls don't have a good personality? No.
What's the song the guy sing recently? What's the guy's name?
No, listen. What I'm saying is lots of times, guys,
pretty but toxic, was that?
Fixate on just the way which a young woman may
but
look.
Women do that too. So don't come around with funny.
I don't do that.
Women do.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm serious.
Folks, I sure when you see John, no, you're gonna realize he put together. And then she go on come around and say, it wasn't there.
I tell you,
it was in the beauty.
it was not
Don't
that.
really funny.
Listen.
What was it?
I have
I think
known
pretty, yeah.
John Doe for quite a number of
Mhm.
years before I even think twice about
Mhm.
him in that way.
Mhm.
I've known him for a number of years
Yeah.
prior to that.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
What attracted you to him? Ah, sorry, get jump out now.
You see the thing going around from the actual topic, man. But
Relevant Chronicles.
I think one of the things that he had going for him was he was persistent and
Mhm.
consistent
Mm.
over time.
So you telling me it was a ugly fella persistent over time. You get a chance? Huh? That's what you telling me? That's what you want me to leave out here?
I am saying
Tell us that's what
that
you want me to do.
you cannot just fixate
Mhm.
on the physical
Agree.
appearance.
Agree.
You have to get beneath that surface
Yeah.
and to see what is the real content of
Yeah,
that
I
person.
agree.
And
And I'm
what
happy
they're
you say that.
coming with.
Because
yes.
you know the body I had 10 years ago. The body I had and the physique, you know, with age, you know. You know how it is. We big.
Don't take set up from Sharon, you know.
Don't get fixated. I'm happy.
You don't get fixated on that
Yeah.
altogether.
People change.
You know?
People change physically and otherwise. People change. Right?
And there's some persons that probably wouldn't be your first pick when it comes to looks and all of that, that may come out to be the best person that you can build a good life with.
This is the ugly man theory. Ugly man
I've
don't get
heard
problem.
this theory,
This is the ugly man theory.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
Armin
Don't
down
believe
cook.
it.
Rocket come in. The
Don't
back door
believe
is.
it. Don't
Rocket come in. Ugly man theory.
Listen, I have a friend of mine, right? I have this friend. I haven't spoken to that person in a while, but I have this friend of mine, right? No. That told me, this is when I was doing my degree at UG. This girl said, persons come and say, ugly, take an ugly man, you don't get trouble. She said, it is a lie. She has
so
the
the
bad
was
experience. She said it is a
she
lie.
got the proof.
But I think the only thing that women are actually still hold on to that is true is that once that nothing is more attractive than a man that got a woman already. That suddenly everybody wants to come and
different direction going in.
But we say that that's the devil talking, trying to attack you. Resist the temptation. Hold on to your relationship. But on that case, I say that not all that glitters is gold, because as you can clearly see there, that was quite a disturbing situation for the young man. For his name to be tried to be dragged to the money in terms of scandal and libel altogether.
But he did the right thing. He reported it instantly. And now
he was properly advised.
I don't think Princess Williams doing herself any favors at all.
No.
And she should realize, you are carrying the whole species of red women, right? You're holding it up for them, and you're doing well. You're doing well because you're content. You are sentenced. You are what? You found guilty with the sentence. This is your conduct. You got the Red Women looking at the thing. Red Women Chronicles, folks. Moving on. Additionally to that, Twitter.
Okay.
Frank.
I don't get it. Frank urges the use of face masks. And when I read it, I like
due to the rise in COVID cases, don't forget the part. Right?
But
based on the numbers we have been seeing,
yeah.
I don't know if there's a rise because the numbers don't indicate that. So like he knows something, I think they're fiddling with the numbers, I think so.
No, well, I want to mention this because we were looking following the numbers, and then you see 2 persons tested positive, 3 persons tested positive, and just like that, after a little while with this announcement, you saw the headline where there were 47% tested positive. So you move from 1 and 2 to 4. But again, I want to say, sometimes I believe that we are doing utter nonsense when we come into the reporting that is being done with COVID. I believe that the Minister of Health, he should have gone on the road of having a constant update personally, a structured setting in which the Ministry of Health is announcing what is going on with that and not specifically relying on the media houses to carry it however and whenever. But we didn't see that. We see a 1 or 2 press conference here and there. From the inception I'm talking about.
Yeah. Been here, I'm scared.
Yeah. So there's no real data out there at some point in time. Where is the graph that shows at what time it peaked and how it has been decreasing and when is it rising? For us to get any real a real image of what is going on. So now you see persons encouraging persons to wear face masks after the current administration has been actively engaged in promoting large gatherings.
Yeah. And as we run doctors, our person of interest today, believe it or not, person of interest, Dr. Tracy Boville.
Yes, our person of interest is Dr. Tracy Boville, consultant in emergency medicine. The OAS award is going to be presented to her for good practices in women's leadership.
Yeah. Respect and manners.
And I
Dr.
want to
Tracy.
say that she has been quite an amazing person altogether. She's a consultant or in medical in emergency medicine at the Georgian Public Hospital, and she's currently the doctor in charge and the lead doctor in the infectious disease hospital at Lilienthal, right? So this Dr. Tracy has been doing quite an amazing job, and I also want to mention at this point in time that Dr. Boville was appointed in March of 2020. That's at the beginning of the pandemic, as the chairperson for the Georgian Public Hospital Cooperation COVID-19 Task Force. She has been doing quite an amazing job altogether.
Respect and
and we are so proud of you and the work that you're doing. We're so thankful for your dedication and your efforts to make sure that our healthcare is in good hands here in Guyana. So we say kudos to you, and I am so happy that you will be accepting that award. So continue to do the good work you're doing, and we'll be here to rep and support in any way that we can. Persons like those are distinguished persons. Go out there. Doctors are made differently, Doctors are persons. I have
people in the medical profession on the whole.
Yes.
Different. You have to have the constitution for that kind of life.
Yes.
And kudos.
The sacrifices that are made for those persons.
Because as we're talking about the medical profession, it brings us to today, believe it or not, guys, believe it or not, Cherry Baskin, Greenwich and Claire Jamat and all the other guys, Pauline Austin, Chanel Belgrave, Bella Mona. It's International Nurses Day, and what a ride our nurses have been having. What a ride in their careers they've been having, folks. Happy International Nurses Day. All the nurses who make a difference, I want to give a shout out to my own aunt, who is a nurse. My uncle is a nurse. My mother is a nurse as well. My mother's retired now. Thanks be God, recently retired. Auntie Sandra Hanover, nurses. Nurse Europe, Hazel Europe, my aunt. My great aunt is a nurse as well.
You come from a nurse family, Sharon.
28 years. No, never thought about it, perhaps.
You come from a nurse family.
Yep. So we want to say Happy International Nurses Day. And we know, the nurses, are the real frontline workers, and they've really shown through this COVID period, and they have not been treated well. They have not been treated very fairly. Happy International Nurses Day. We have to focus on that.
Yeah,
we have to focus on that.
Yeah, I want to join with Sharon saying Happy International Nurses Day, and I want to just to mention the team also.
Yeah, talk us about
International Nurses Day. It says nurses, a voice to lead, invest in nursing and respect rights to secure global health.
Wow.
Right. Wow. Invest in nursing. Invest.
Wow.
In nursing.
They lead. Nurses lead. They are the backbone of the whole system. But at the community level, well, it's the health centers you go to, the clinics, especially in the rural areas, the nurses, and like teachers, you gotta be nurse, you gotta be doctor, you gotta be auntie, uncle, you gotta be bigger, you gotta many hats.
There's a lot of things. I think I could say it like this. There's a lot of times that you can go to very remote areas that doesn't have a lot of things. They don't have a lot of experts in different departments and all. But no matter where you go, you have to have medical persons there to assess, because wherever people reside and live, people get sick. And when people get sick, they rely on these medical experts, nurses, they're being at the helm of it all to make sure that they can get better, they're treated well and all of that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that a lot of times do we have a tendency to beat down on persons. Sometimes they're a little antsy and all of that. But I think that we need to practice a lot of patience, and I encourage nurses also practice a lot more patience if for those who are extremely overworked and overtaxed on a daily basis.
I remember when the frontline workers that were nurses, they were protesting for better protective equipment.
Yeah.
And I heard Irfan Ali say, where were the nurses when the sugar workers were in the struggle? Where were they? Our nurses are not being treated very well. We can talk about what's happening with the nursing council, for instance.
They're indispensable,
right? The Guyana Nursing Council is almost, even now, was being bypassed and almost disbanded, right? Because again, the administration have this tendency where they can't control it, destroy.
Yeah.
Where they can't control it, destroy. And so they're bringing legislation now to go around the nursing council, right? The lengths they would go to.
Yeah. We don't appreciate the value of certain people until we are left in there to the mercies of their care.
Yeah.
When you are sick, and I've been in position that I was sick, and you go to the hospital, and the little glimmer of hope that you have, as soon as you see that nurse coming wrong, because you already perceive that someone is there to help. To help make you better, and all of that. I've been in the surgery. You have to go under anesthetic and all of that, and there's something I hate, that whole feeling altogether. When you have to put your life and trust in the hands of somebody else to make sure, and they are there doing their work diligently. So we have so much to be thankful for. You go to the hospital, you see tons of sick persons line up, going there for care. We have to be thankful for the people that are there doing their work.
And that's why we say respect and manners to all of the nurses. And I want them to know, I want us to know, the nurses didn't stick around for bad treatment. They are not, because you know what? Darren Adams, the Region 10 regional chairman, told us recently, he said the nurses migrated. When you get a CEO like really smart to deal with, you can expect differently. How you have been treating the nurses, I wonder what I can set today. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. We value our nurses.
Oh, give me a break. Don't say
that's the word.
Speak not the words. Let it be stricken from every pillar and every post. That's what they can say. This is what the Region 10 chairman, this is a chairman with a difference, in touch with what's happening on the ground. He's been talking with the nurses. As a matter of fact, on which day you had recently when he protested? Whichever day it was.
He protested on it's on Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Yes.
Labor Day. He said, and he's saying here again, he's saying that small must go.
Yeah.
You cannot think that you valuing the nurses and you treat them in the most despicable, reprehensible manner. You got 2 empty parking lots and you say, oh, it's for doctors and sisters only. But the nurses got to park in the night on the road. The vehicles being vandalized. And when you come and say today, oh, if God be for us, who can be against us? Fire upon you, man. Stop that.
Goodness.
Treat the folks with care. Treat them better than that. We want to say kudos to folks like Darren Adams, who are always out there, fighting the good fight. Because this is what struggle, and we got to keep doing what we got to do. Respect and manners.
Darren is one of a kind.
Yeah.
And I support him tremendously. Yeah. And I respect the work that he's doing.
We got to talk the talk. We got to walk the walk where nurses is concerned. When it goes hand in hand, Barack Obama says, we got to learn to chew gum and do other things. And not walk. Chew gum and walk.
Chew gum and walk.
These guys say, oh, we fixing we can come to that just now.
I've never seen you chew gum.
Right? Sometimes they do.
Yes.
Look at what they're doing again in Linden with the Santa Rosa Nursing School. They said they have now moved it, I think, into Region 9 or something like that, doing a similar thing and then calling it, the Santa Rosa Nursing School, which is specific to Linden. And then, you say Linden got too many nurses, right? So you're not taking in as many applications. Those are the people with the proclivity to carry the weight and the burden and the struggle in the health sector. Allow them. What are you coming to say today? That's what I want to know.
Well, I know what they're going to come and say. Let me just say that before I move on. Because what they're going to do, and I've often said this, the administration of today, the PV administration has perfected the art of saying something and doing something completely contrary to what they say, because they document the right things and then they go and do exactly opposite of what they say. So I expect to hear all the nice comments about valuing nurses and frontline workers, but then when coupled with the actions, you will realize that those words don't hold water
Yeah.
for the very fact that nurses were there out on the front line working so hard and all of that, and then they were locked out of the hospital gates.
Yeah.
At one point in
Our
time.
nurses are important,
right?
and we must treat them well. You know, nurse give me my name.
A nurse gave you
yes,
a name.
the midwife who
Imagine
delivered
that.
me
Yeah.
gave me my name. There was a book she was reading. There was a character she liked, Sharon. So yeah, take that.
That's in here.
Still in touch with her.
You see,
Dorit.
Sherrod has this whole nurse in his family and his blood and his name reflects.
We care about people.
Well,
we care about
Dave
people.
Durrell says he has I think he said has 2 children that's in the nursing profession.
Good,
if I'm not
good,
mistaken,
good. Right?
Dave Durrell.
Right? Look, Elizabeth Narayan says the Charles Rosa Nursing School of Nurses is my alma mater. You see that? And they're dismantling that. Dismantling it. You know, this administration, this regime, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
But my daughter, strange enough, my baby daughter, the little one, she says that she has been bent on it. She's going to be a doctor ever since she knows what professions are. She's going to be a doctor.
It's only in this country.
Yes.
The professions are not respected.
Yeah.
In Trinidad, if you are a fireman, you know, you ain't good. Those are the professions people try to get, you know, teacher, fireman, soldier, police.
Yeah.
Some of the most well-paid. You know, your police
in the U.S.
You're good.
In the U.S., the sanitation workers, garbage collectors, are paid well.
Yeah, my aunt. I told you, my aunt and my uncle.
Those are some of the most essential services that we tend to overlook and just push aside. You know.
My aunt and my uncle, they were in the health profession in the diaspora. Right? And when you look at them, my mother was there too. What they've been able to do. My mother put me through nursery, primary, secondary, university, paid for all of that. But couldn't do it here. Right? My aunt owned property in the US, owned property here, put their children through school, own beautiful vehicles. You could do that here.
Wow.
Right? You could do that here as a teacher. My grandmother in the teaching profession. That's how my aunt and my mother started in the teaching profession, but they left me there too. Right?
Wow.
Started there. My grandmother built a house when she was a big woman. When she was a big woman, can't even enjoy it now. Right? Those are things people do right out soon as you get into the profession. You study, you get into the profession, you work, and you're able to do those things. Right? You do those things as big people here. People have a fighting for duty-free concession because you can't own a vehicle otherwise as a teacher. Right? To own a vehicle otherwise as a teacher means, you know, you must be a red woman. 1, 2 years the HM for the school or something like that. We got to change that, man.
Yeah.
We got to change that with this wealth that we have gotten. We still live like mendicants. I see photographs with children walking through slush, you know, knee-high school children. Other photographs coming from various parts of the country, sitting on the ground to learn, you know, and some are on benches because shortage of furniture. What are we doing with the money in this country? Yeah? Anybody would tell me they want gas to shore for $1 billion US? And people going to school without shoe, without food, without sanitary napkins? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then you come and say, we love the nurses today.
Yeah. Well, I think they're marking time.
You think if the UK health system can put with nurses better, they wouldn't go? They wouldn't go. That's what's happening. And now we heard that is part of them disbanding the council.
Correct.
Because they have to go for your registration documents and so on to forward your papers.
And they want to have complete control.
So you don't treat them good, and then you block the path for them to move forward.
I think it was Starbuck News that actually spoke about that whole concept, because what you're speaking about is just a microcosm of the bigger issue at hand. And a very fact, I think it was Kaitra at Starbuck News that actually mentioned in one of their editorials, I believe, when they were speaking about the fact that the PP doesn't support institutions, bodies, unless they have a way of infiltrating that system to actually put somebody in there that they have direct control over, that is going to have those bodies work on their behalf. And that's what you're seeing there. That's why any body that is there, especially persons representing public service, anybody that is there with the basic principle guideline of representing public servants, they are going to try to disband them once they have not infiltrated. It's either they try to infiltrate or they try to disband altogether. We've seen it over and over. And people have to be able to remember how these things are going and never forget where it's coming from. You can't be okay with coming from a system in which representation was good and okay and in check, oversight, transparency, good governance altogether, and then you're okay and you want to accept what is being handed to you right now. We have to be good stewards in our own way of making sure that we reprimand these issues as they go along.
Good governance and transparency. I know, Triton, you were there too yesterday. We have the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association here having a seminar, but I know lots of the government members, if not all of them, were missing yesterday, like the boycott after day one.
Well, they
interesting.
Not after day one. They weren't really there all together. They were. They touched base to make sure that the persons didn't say that they weren't there.
So we have an international context of that nature.
Yeah.
Right. These are the people who want to have a robust legislative agenda and all of that, and they're not interested in the Commonwealth Parliamentary Seminar that they're hosting. That they're hosting. Interesting.
Well, I was most interested because one of the last segment of the discussion altogether was on conflict resolution. And when we got to that part, I remember looking across the room and there were like 4 persons there from the PPP. So I'm saying that this is not even a discussion that could be had because they're not there.
And then 4 persons who aren't too consequential in terms of the decision making.
The backbenchers.
Yeah. 4 from how many ever, because that's not important. They're not interested in conflict
we have
resolution.
a lot.
You think so?
We have no, they're not interested. They're not interested, and we have to do better as a people because and I think we have to look at our role in government altogether very, very differently, because when I look at my role as a member of parliament, I'm thinking that this is not a Doretta Fernandez seat in the National Assembly. This is the people's seat, This is a seat for an elected representative, and whatever work I do should be put in making things better from whoever is coming to take that seat after me, because I'm not going to be there forever. You just come, you make your point, you make an impact, and you move on, and you make sure. And I want to say this because last night there was a reception that I attended with the ending of the seminar and all of that, and I was most amazed to see the young people there, the youth parliament representatives. Some of them were in attendance at that. And I spoke to them and I told them that we're just here in the interim because those seats are actually going to be your seats. When you continue down that path, those seats are going to be your seats. And it's our job to make sure that we structure things in such a way that when you are there, you're going to be in a better place than where we met it now. And that's that should be our whole aim altogether. This is not about us as personalities. This is about representing and basically structuring the system in a better way, so that whomever comes after is going to be able to deal with other issues. Because for years, we've been dealing with the same crap over and over because no one is fixing it as we move forward,
Just kick them down the road.
So a lot of work to be done. But as we say, it's International Nurses Day, so make sure that you reach out to every nurse that you know. I see Dave Durrell also had said in the comments that his grandmother also was a nurse, so he's kind of like you, have a lot of nurses in the family and all of that.
Nurses and teachers.
So send out your greetings once you have a nurse, let them know that
you
appreciate them.
Now the fortune, good to have you here. Simone Williams, good to have you here. Deborah Clark, Dolly Jones as well, here with us. So happy you guys.
Chiselle Chipper is saying that I am in a bus. So Chiselle's probably going somewhere. And I see Naomi Drucker. I acknowledge all that you're saying. There's Simona Williams, Mark Doris. I haven't seen you in a little bit, Mark.
Yeah, Leslie Chance is here. Should we happy he's here now? Yep. Be happy here now. Marlon Loriman, Edward Brooms, all you fantastic folk. That's our program for today. That's our time.
Yes. I think we've managed our time a little better today.
You think so?
Guys, we usually keep you later than we should on some mornings.
Good to see you, John Passad, and
there's a John.
Edward Gonzalez. Where's Edward from? Edward Gonzalez?
From the Bronx.
From the Bronx. Congrats again, Warren, and the birth of that baby, your grandson. And also congrats to Elizabeth and Raymond Ryan, their daughter, recently graduated from university. Liesel graduated recently from university. Elizabeth was telling us just now about graduating from Charles Rosa Nursing School. They're in the diaspora, and their daughter, Lisa. So
congratulations, and guys, let us know which, like Cher said earlier, let us know what milestone you have gotten to, a member, family member, so forth, that we can send our greetings also to you guys. You are part of this FYI family.
Selena Fraser's with us too. Selena, good to see you here. Selena from Canada.
Correct. But the family is growing, you know. The family is growing.
So much look how we there go, eh? Bella Mona, George Seymour, John Prasad, Osman Hodge, and Maureen Coppin Williams.
Either Coppin Williams surname. I don't know. It sounds good, Maureen Coppin Williams.
Yeah. Cancer, she's having her coffee and cricks.
Proper things.
Yeah. Do your thing. Yeah. You the girl your thing, guys.
Guys, thank you so
much.
Marlene
Thomas. Good to see Marlene and Sandrine Beard and all the other folks. That's our time. That's our program.
That is our time, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you share the stream. I think you've been a little delinquent.
Yes.
You're joining, but you're delinquent on the sharing. Fixated on the content.
We love that. But share as well. Share before you go. Hundreds of persons still watching us. Hundreds. We're heartened by that. But share the damn live stream too.
I was trying to get the comment from, if you can just
I can do it from here.
Comment. Oh my goodness, we can get a comment back. So guys, as you proceed on today, make sure that you do, as we always say, be careful on the roadways and all of that. Make sure that you are doing what is right to be done. Take it easy, take it calm, like that pilot that landed the plane with no experience. Everything is possible once you remain calm and collective. You will be able to accomplish so many other things. Again, we say that Happy International Nurses Day to the nurses, and also we will continue to bring you the credible information that is coming out, especially when it comes from Region 10, as what is going on with the nurses there right now.
Partner with us too, folks, so we can keep growing. Continue to partner with us. You know, we're available via Zelle and Cash App, PayPal, MMG, that's the Guyanese Cash App, MMG. We also available via MoneyGram and Western Union. You want to know how you can use any one of these platforms to partner with us, guys? Our WhatsApp number is 21st century. WhatsApp 627-6963. 627-69. Correct.
You're forgetting your
627-6963.
You are absolutely correct. I see Roger Norris. I didn't see your name earlier, Roger. It's nice to have you
here
with us this morning.
Yep. Roger in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Same
Roger
fella.
Norris.
Fantastic guy.
Family.
Good to see you, Roger. Marla Alicock and all the other folks. Thanks for joining us. That's our time, folks.